Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking Pre-Game. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking Pre-Game.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios, where tonight the Vikings are getting ready to take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Rick Olson here, and soon I'll head over to the school to join Dan Petchow as we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's Dunn St. Croix Conference game right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Tonight's game is a critical one, as the Vikings hope to maintain their position atop the Dunn St. Croix Conference, while the Bulldogs are hoping to break into the winning column and avenge a 66-29 loss to the Vikings back on January 7th. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Boyceville Bulldogs and the Colfax Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Following that, we'll bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where Dan Petchow and I are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls basketball game between the 2-7 Boyceville Bulldogs and the 6-3 Colfax Vikings. A Viking victory tonight would keep them in the Dunn St. Croix Conference lead with a 7-1 conference record. Last Friday, the Vikings worked to help solidify their lead in the Dunn St. Croix Conference with a 47-35 victory over the Elk Mound Mounders. Now, leading the way in that game in scoring for the Vikings was junior swing forward Madison Barstead, who scored 18 points. She was followed by junior guard Jasmine Best and junior forward Emily Bertram Schofield, who added 8 points each, and by senior guard Addison Olson, who pitched in 5. The Viking leaders thus far this season are Barstead, who's averaging 14 points per game, followed by Best, who's averaging nearly 8 points per game. And they're followed by freshman McKenna Shipman and Olson, who are averaging 6.5 and 6 points per game, respectively. Barstead is also the Vikings' leading rebounder, pulling down nearly 9 boards per game. The Boyceville Bulldogs are a scrappy, young team with 8 freshmen and sophomores on the varsity roster. They come into tonight's game with a 2-win, 7-loss overall record and are 0-6 in conference play. The Bulldogs are averaging nearly 34.5 points per game while giving up nearly 43. They are led in scoring by senior Jensine Basil, who's putting up 9.5 points per game. And right behind her is senior Katie Grambo, who's adding another 9 points per game. Freshman Hannah Dunn, who pitches in another 6.5, is right behind them. Now, the leading rebounder for the Bulldogs is Grambo, who's pulling down nearly 9.5 boards per game. Coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective on tonight's game between the Vikings and the Bulldogs as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Today we're talking with the Viking girls head coach, Courtney Serrar. And Coach, last Friday the Vikings got an important win to help solidify their spot in the top of the Dun St. Croix Conference when they defeated the Elk Mound Mounders 47-35. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, it was just a big win for us. Kept us in the tie for first place in the Dun St. Croix. That's always our first team goal, is to win the conference title. It wasn't pretty at times. We missed a lot of shots, but I was proud of just our overall energy and effort, especially on the defensive end and rebounding. And, we held a good team to 35 points. So if you can do that, you're going to win a lot of games.
Now, tonight the girls take on the Boyceville Bulldogs, a team that they defeated fairly handily, 66-29, only 11 days ago. What can you tell us about the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I was telling the girls last night at our shoot-around that it feels like we just played them yesterday, and it's just the crazy part of this year. But, yeah, another big rival for us in the conference. And, they run that swing offense to perfection. And we spent quite a bit of time looking at that last night. And just a big key to tonight's game is just making sure we communicate on those back screens and, come ready to play. I think it's important to, again, establish that we're here to win right away and let them know that I don't think they can play with us, and that's got to, come right from the start.
Now, since the girls knocked off the Bulldogs by such a lopsided score, and it was only 11 days ago, do you worry about complacency on the part of the Vikings, and that could turn this into a trap game?
Yeah, I always, tell the girls it's hard when you play teams, so close together, and it's hard when the score might be, thinking that you're going to win easy, but you have to show up to play every night. And that has to be a mentality that we come with, because it's not always going to be like that. So, what we do shouldn't change, and how we meet each game. And it'll be important, just to get some, these are great games to get some confidence under your belt moving forward. We have a big couple weeks. We just want to start off on the right foot.
Now, are there any Viking players we need to focus on in tonight's game?
It's senior night, so I'm hoping that those 7 seniors will come ready to play and just, show us how, the game needs to go. And that, they're our leaders. We look to them a lot for, lots of things, whether it be, big hoops or, establishing culture, all of those things. So I'm hoping that they come ready to play in their last home game for the season, unless we host during playoffs. But so I'm looking forward to seeing how they react to that tonight.
Are there any other injuries, illnesses, or COVID situations we need to be aware of?
No, not that I know of. We're still kind of staying consistent here as far as injuries. Jill is hoping, she's out of her boot now. We're hoping that, she can slowly ease her way back in, but still waiting on her to get cleared. And I think Ainsley's ankle is feeling a lot better on the JV end, so I'm hoping she can make an appearance tonight. But, like I said, just kind of take things, one step at a time. We don't want to send anyone back too early either.
Well, Coach Serrar, good luck on tonight's game, and hopefully the Vikings will keep riding high in the Dun St. Croix Conference.
Yeah, thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Vikings will attempt to remain on top of the Dunn St. Croix Conference as they take on the Boyceville Bulldogs. On the other hand, the Bulldogs are trying to break into the winning column and play spoiler in the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings. So the stage is set for some exciting girls high school basketball, and we'll bring you all the action right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a moment, I'll be headed over to the school to join my colleague Dan Petschow as we'll settle in to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's girls' game between the Colfax Vikings and the Boyceville Bulldogs. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
To Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWA-RCI's Racing Action. Next Saturday, we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Coma Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWA-RCI's Racing Action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
Colfax Viking basketball is on the air.
They're at the free throw line to Addison from 3. She hit it! Addison Olsen with the 3-point.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV proudly presents tonight's Colfax Viking girls varsity basketball game.
Bomb being chased down and finally pulled away by Barstead, who puts it up and in.
Join us as we head out to the gym for tonight's Viking basketball.
Best drives into the lane, puts up a shot, rattles around and in. And good evening and welcome to Colfax High School, where tonight the Vikings are taking on the Boyceville Bulldogs. And that was Colfax senior Drew Gibson doing national anthem. It's senior night here at Colfax, and we're going to get the starting lineups from the scorer's bench. Here we go.
And your Colfax Vikings. Introducing the starters for the visiting Bulldogs. Number 10, a junior, Harper Wilson. Number 11, a senior, Maya Waterstone. Number 23, a senior, Katie Franco. Number 25, a senior, Faith Burnett. 33, a freshman, Hannah Dunn. The Bulldogs are led by head coach Jay Lobstrom. And now the starting lineup for your Colfax Vikings. Number 10 is senior Madison Olsen. Number 14 is senior Dave Bradford. Number 20 is senior Marissa Harmon. Number 22 junior Madison Barstaff. And number 40 is senior Jasmine Wallace.
And so that's the regular starters for the Vikings. It's Olsen, Bradford, Harmon, Barstead, Paulus, and for the Boyceville Bulldogs, it's Olsen, Lagerstrom, Gramble, Harnish, and Dunn. So, Dan, this could be a good one for the Vikings coming up here.
Yeah, it's going to be a good test tonight. Help them stay in the race here in the conference.
And Bulldogs to inbound. Gramble to toss it in. And she gets it into Dunn, who brings it through the backcourt and up across the timeline. Dunn over to the right side to Olsen. Down into the corner to Gramble. Underneath the Harnish, who puts it up. It rolls off, no good. Rebound taken down by Bradford. He gives it over to Olsen, brings it down, stops between the circles, gets it over to the left side, now back out to Olsen, over to the right side to Bradford. Cross-court pass to Harmon, puts no good. Rebound taken down by Paulus, or Faulkner on the floor. We got a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. And Harmon to inbound. She gets it in. It goes up to Olsen out high. Over to Bradford. Back over to Olsen from the right side. Puts up a three. Off the iron. No good. Rebound being chased down. Knocked back in by Harmon. Gets it out to Barstead. Barstead puts up the three. No good. Rebound tapped around. Taken down by Gramble for Boyceville. And she brings it through the backcourt and across the timeline. And down the left side all the way down to the baseline. Gets it back out to Lagerstrom. Lagerstrom takes it up to the top of the key. Over to Olsen on the right. Olsen out to Dunn, and then over to Lagerstrom on the left. Back out high to Harnish. To Gramble on the right side. Olsen at the top of the key. To Harnish, and they try to throw it underneath, and they lose control, and Addie Olsen gets it. She brings it down the floor, feeds it off to Barstead, and as she goes in, she got fouled on the way in. And that foul is on Faith Harnish, her first team foul. First foul on anything or anybody. Maddie Barstead at the line for the Vikings. First shot on the way, off the iron, no good. Her second shot is on its way, and it rattles around and out. Still no score in this game. Gramble brings it down the floor for Boyceville. Feeds it over to the left side to Lagerstrom. Lagerstrom out high to Olsen. Over to Gramble on the right. Puts up the shot, no good. Rebound taken down by Paulus. Paulus gets it over to Olsen, brings it across the timeline for the Vikings. At the top of the key, she feeds it off to the left side to Bradford. Back out to Olsen out high. To Harmon on the right. To Barstead. Back out to Harmon to Olsen. Now to Bradford to Barstead at the baseline. Feeds it across the Paulus. Tries to lay it up. It got fouled going up. That foul is going to be on Hannah Dunn for the Boyceville Bulldogs. That's her first personal. Second team foul. And Jasmine Paulus at the line for the Vikings, shooting two. Her first one's on the way, and it goes through. Finally, somebody's on the board with 15:55 to go in the first half. Paulus with her second shot. It's on the way. It's also good. 2-0 lead for the Vikings. Dunn inbounds it to Gramble. Gramble through the backcourt, under a little bit of pressure. And we have a travel being called on Grampo. She dragged the pivot foot as she set up to throw. And the ball goes over to the Vikings. Barstead inbounds it to Olsen, who brings it across the timeline. Olsen stops between the circles. Over to Bradford on the left, back to Olsen. Over to Harmon on the right. Cross court pass to Barstead. Down in the left corner. Gets it out high. Now Olsen has it at the top of the key. Feeds it out to Harmon. Puts up the three. No good. Rebound taken down by Dunn for the Bulldogs. Dunn just brings it down the floor herself through the center circle. Takes it over to the right side. Moves down underneath to Gramble. Gramble puts the shot up and it goes in. And we're all tied at 2. 15:07 to go. 2-2. Olsen has it for the Vikings. Gets it out to Barstead. Puts up the three and she hits the three-pointer. Maddie Barstead with the three and the Vikings are up 5-2. Down the floor come Boyceville, and they lose control of the ball after a little bit of a collision near midcourt. Vikings pick it up. Barstead drives the baseline, puts it up, no good. And they're saying that Grambo on the rebound stepped on the baseline, so the Vikings will have it. And so Harmon is going to inbound it for the Vikings. Feeds it into Paulus in the lane. Gets it out to Olsen, three-pointer on the way, around and out, no good. Rebound taken out by Paulus, kicks it out to Bradford to Barstead. Back to Bradford, out to Olsen out high. She gets it to Harmon, down to Paulus on the baseline on the right side. Back out to Harmon, to Olsen at the top of the key. Back over to Harmon on the right. To the elbow to Barstead, back out to Harmon, three-pointer on the way, rattles around the nickels down. They hit the rim about 4 times before it decided to go down through. And here come the Bulldogs down the floor. Lagerstrom with it on the dribble. She's between the circles. Takes it over to the right side. Lagerstrom still on the dribble. Now she picked up the dribble. Tries to get it out to Harness. Almost stolen by Paulus. And they get it over to Hainstead. To Grambo. Now Dunn has it on the right side. And we have a timeout being called by the Boyceville Bulldogs. 13:45 to go in the first half. Vikings 8, Boyceville 2. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380. And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petschow. Boyceville getting ready to inbound the ball. And they get it in, tied up in the lane, and we have a jump ball called. Possession arrow in favor of Boyceville. So Grambo to inbound for the Bulldogs. Under their own basket. Gets out to Lagerstrom, puts up the three, and she hits a three-pointer. Maya Lagerstrom on the three-pointer. And it's 8-5, Vikings on top. Harmon with it. Gets it out to Olsen at the top of the key for the Vikings. To Bradford. And now to Olsen. Back over to Bradford on the left side. To Paulus on the baseline. She puts up the shot. It does not go. It hit off the side of the backboard. And down come the Boyceville Bulldogs. Grambo with it. Across the timeline. Over to the left side. There's a little bit of a spin. She picked up the dribble. Now she gets it out to Montgomery. Montgomery with it, takes it over to the right side to Lagerstrom from the right corner, puts it up no good. Rebound tipped and out of bounds. It's going to be Viking ball. They're saying Boyceville touched it last. And we have several substitutes into the game for the Vikings. We now have Parker in there. Yeah, Vikings can't play with 6. They keep trying to do that, Dan, every now and then. You'd think they're tailor-made to be a hockey team or something. Olsen with it, gets it to Harmon. Down on the baseline to Knoll. And we get tied up down there on the baseline. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Tyler Knoll kind of got tied up. She got the pass, but then some quick hands by Boyceville got in there and tied up the ball. Harmon to inbound. Feeds it out to Olsen. Olsen drives down the lane, dribbled it off her knee, but evidently we have a blocking foul being called on Hannah Dunn, I think. Well, check that. I've got the wrong number again. No, it's a foul on Harper Olsen. It's the third team foul on Boyceville. Inbound pass gets stolen immediately by Grambo, and down the floor come the Boyceville Bulldogs. 8-5, Vikings on top. They get it over to the left side. That's Hainestead. Over to Grambo now on the right. Back out high to Olsen, over to Dunn. And then to Montgomery down in the right corner. Back out to Grambo, and then out high to Hainstead. Olsen on the left to Montgomery at the top of the key. Now they feed it down underneath, and then they kick it back out to Dunn. Dunn tries to drive into the lane, tries to put up a shot. It doesn't go. Rebound for down there, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. Fouls on Addie Olsen for the Vikings. It's her first team foul on the Vikings. That puts Hannah Dunn at the line. And her first shot is on the way. It's good. Best and Bertram Schofield are into the lineup for the Vikings. Replaced Harmon and Olsen. Dunn's second shot is on the way, and it's also good. We have a 1-point game going on here. Vikings on top, 8-7. And a couple substitutions made by the Boyceville Bulldogs. Parker inbounds it to Best, and Best brings it down the floor for the Vikings. Feeds it over to the right side to Bertram Schofield. Back out to Best at the top of the key. To Irwin on the left side. Back over to Bertram Schofield. Lays it up off the glass and in. Emily Bertram Schofield with a nice move to the basket. 10-7, Vikings on top. Olsen with it for Boyceville. To Lagerstrom. Drives down the lane. Tries to put the shot up. It doesn't go, but we got a foul. I think we're going to get Parker here. I'll check that. Tyler Knoll with the personal. It's her first personal. Second team foul on the Vikings. The shot's up and good by Lagerstrom. Lagerstrom's second shot up. It's also good. And down the floor come the Vikings. 10-9, Vikings up by 1. Irwin with it. Over to Best. Over to Bertram Schofield. Drives the right baseline. Feeds it across to Irwin, and she's going to get called for the travel. Took a little bit of a step before she put the ball on the floor. And the ball goes over to Boyceville. Vikings in full court pressure mode now. Pass comes out to Lagerstrom. Takes it across the timeline. Feeds it over to the right side to Harnish. And now to Lagerstrom on the left. Takes it into the lane. To Olsen. Over to Montgomery on the right. Then out to Harnish. To Olsen on the left. She drives down the left side. No good. Gets her own rebound. And gets tied up underneath. We have a jump ball. Possession to throw in favor of Boyceville Bulldogs. Arstead and Shipman into the lineup for the Vikings. Replacing Harper and Knoll. Bulldogs inbound it to Grambo, who lays it up and in. And Boyceville takes a lead, 11-10. Down the floor comes Jasmine Best on the dribble. She feeds it over to the right side And then to the free throw line to Bertram Schofield, who puts it up and in. Emily Bertram Schofield with her 4th point of the night. 12-11, Vikings back on top. Lagerstrom with it, takes it across the timeline. Feeds it down low, ball gets knocked over Harnish, and she puts it up and in. And Boyceville's back on top. We're going to do a little seesaw action now. Here comes Best down the floor for the Vikings. Feeds it out to Barstead, who feeds it over. And again, Irwin got called for the travel. Doing something with her first step. She looks rather confused about what's happening to her.
Yeah, I think it got trapped on her hip a little bit there. She was dribbling, and all of a sudden it was a travel.
So the Bulldogs bring it in, but the pass gets intercepted by Bertram Schofield. Feeds it underneath Irwin, and she lays it up and in. Vikings back on top, 14-13. 9:54 to go in the first half. Boyceville with it. Lagerstrom across the timeline between the circles. Ball gets knocked loose by Shipman, and they're going to call Shipman for a travel. I saw possibly a double dribble. And Dan's over here nodding his head.
Yeah, I saw the double dribble, too. I didn't see a travel, but...
Anyway, we have a timeout on the floor. 9:45 to go in the first half. Vikings 14, Boyceville 13, and you are tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You have a high-deductible health plan. Opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petschow. And just want to remind you that the next girls' game here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV is scheduled for Thursday this week, the 21st, when the Viking girls travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. We'll bring you that game remotely with Viking pregame at 6:55. Live play-by-play at 7:10. That's coming up Thursday evening. Boyceville to inbound the ball. Rambo to inbound it. Gets it over to Lagerstrom in the backcourt. She's double-teamed back there. Gets it into the forecourt to Olsen. Ball gets knocked away by Abby Olsen for the Vikings, and Barstead brings it down the floor. She takes it down the lane all the way to the basket. It goes up no good. Rebound taken down by Boyceville. Lagerstrom has it. Pass it across the timeline to Olsen from the right side. Three-pointer on the way off the front of the iron. No good. Best with the rebound, and she brings it across the timeline. Feeds it over to Bertram Schofield. Puts up the three. No. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Tries to go back up with it, but got caught on the way up. So Maddie Barstead to the line. And that foul is on Katie Grambo for Boyceville. That's her first personal. Fourth team foul on the Boyceville Bulldogs. Barstead's first shot is no good. That's unusual for her. She's 0 for 3 from the line. Her second shot is, this one's good. 15-13, Vikings up by a couple. And Boyceville inbounds it. They got it in the backcourt. Instead, now she feeds it up to Grambo, takes it across the timeline, feeds it over to the right side to Dunn. Dunn at the free throw line, drives into the lane, puts it up. Ball got partially tipped. She tries to go back up with it again, and she's got fouled on the way up, and I think they're going to get Bertram Schofield on the arm. No, my mistake again. This one's on Shipman. I saw the foul on the arm before that, but that's Shipman's first personal. Third team foul on the Vikings. First shot is on the way. It's good. This is Hannah Dunn at the line. 3 points for Dunn so far. And the second shot is on the way. It's also good. And we're tied at 15. Best with it. Gets it over to Olsen on the right side. Back out high to Best. Over to Barstead on the left. Into the lane to Shipman. Puts up the shot. It's a little bit short. Taken away by Boyceville. Rambo with it. Feeds it over to Lagerstrom. Still in the backcourt. Lagerstrom across the timeline. Lagerstrom picks up the dribble. Pass gets picked off by Shipman, who takes it down the floor. Stops, puts up the shot. Nick goes in. 17-15, Vikings on top. Ball gets inbounded to Lagerstrom. Then it's over to Hainstead. To Gramble across the timeline. Gramble over to Hainstead on the right, or on the left. To Dunn down in the left corner. Ball gets tipped away by Olsen and out of bounds, and it went off of Olsen last. And so Boyceville will have it. Harnish into the lineup for Boyceville. Harper Olsen into the lineup for Boyceville. Lagerstrom takes a seat. Dunn gets it into Gramble. Gramble across the timeline between the circles. Gets it over to Hainstead on the left. Now she takes it up between the circles. Guarded closely by Bertram Schofield. Over to Olsen. Back out high to Harnish. Then it's over to Hainstead. To Gramble with a three-pointer, no good. Rebound taken down by Best. And she brings it across the timeline. Getting it over to Olsen on the left. Back out to Best. Over to Barstead. Puts up the shot, no good, but the putback by Emily Bertram Schofield is good. 19-15, Vikings up by 4. Down the floor come the Boyceville Bulldogs. This is Gramble with it. She takes it down into the right corner. Feeds it back out high to Olsen. She's between the circles. Over to Gramble on the right side. High, wide, and right. Then down to Dunn, and underneath the Harnish. Puts up the shot. No, it got tipped out. And it went out to Hainstead, who took an extra step. You know, Dan, sometimes officiating crews have their favorite calls, and I think these guys really like that travel call.
Yeah, they've gotten a few here tonight already.
And down the floor come the Vikings. Addison Olsen on the dribble. Stops at the top of the key. Feeds it into the lane to Barstead. Back out to Olsen, top of the key. Shot is good for 3. Addison Olsen with the three-pointer. 22-15, Vikings ahead. Boyceville bottled up in the backcourt right now, and we have a timeout called by the Bulldogs with 6:19 to go. Vikings 22, Bulldogs 15. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. And we're back here at Colfax High School. Vikings 22, Bulldogs 15. And the Bulldogs to inbound. Hannah Dunn to inbound it. Gets it over to Gramble. Over to Olsen. Olsen double teamed. Gets it to Gramble. Feeds it down underneath. The ball gets tipped out of bounds. Actually, they're going to say it was off the hands of Rachel Montgomery for the Bulldogs, and the Vikings have it. Addie Olsen down the floor. Between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side to Harmon. And back over to Barstead. Back out high to Olsen. Over to Bradford to Olsen. Olsen drives into the lane. Feeds it out to the right side to Harmon. Puts up the three. No good. Rebound being tapped around and coming away with it are the Bulldogs. I'll say this, Dan. Bulldogs are getting better rebounding position than the Vikings are so far. Grambo with it, feeds it over to the right side. Ball gets knocked loose by Olsen, and they're going to say Olsen committed the foul with the body in the process. That's the second foul on Addison Olsen. Fourth team foul on the Vikings. Grambo to inbound it. She gets it over to Lagerstrom. Brings it into the forecourt. To Harnish. Out high, outside the three-point line. To Grambo. Over to Lagerstrom. Out to Olsen, who tries to feed it into Harnish. And the ball gets knocked away, and Addie Olsen has it. Coming down the floor for the Vikings. Quickly down the floor. Feeds it out to the left side. And a three-pointer in for Bradford. Bailey Bradford with the three. 25-15. Vikings up by 10. Down the floor comes Lagerstrom. She's still in the backcourt. Being harassed there by Barstead. And they're saying that Lagerstrom stepped on the sideline. Real good defensive position by Maddie Barstead.
Yeah, good job by Colfax there to bottle him up and get the turnover.
And just not give her any room along the side there to get by. Addison Olsen between the circles over to the right side to Harmon. Back to Addison. To Bradford. To Harmon with the three, and she hit the three-pointer. Now the three-pointers are starting to hit for the Vikings. 28-15. Vikings on top. Harnish with it. And the ball gets knocked loose by Harmon. And Addison has it for the Vikings. Feeds it over to the right side to Harmon. Into the lane to Paulus. Back out to Harmon. Over to Olsen from three. She puts it up and off the back of the air. No good. Rebound taken down by Boyceville. And down the floor they come. This is Harper Olsen with it for Boyceville. She's got it between the circles. Feeds it over to the right side to Harnish. Down into the corner. Grambo, three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Montgomery, puts the shot back up and in. 28-17, Vikings up by 11. Olsen feeds it out to Barstead. Before the shot, they're saying a foul on the floor. And that's a foul on Grambo. That's her second personal, 15 foul. Parker, Knoll, and Irwin come in for the Vikings, replacing Paulus and Barstead and Olsen. Irwin's got it from the free throw line. She hit it. 30-17, Vikings on top. Lagerstrom has it in the backcourt for Boyceville. Takes it up across the timeline and down the right side. Stops, jumps, no good. Rebound. Taken down by Montgomery, and she put it up and in. Rachel Montgomery with her fourth point of the night. Harmon has it in the forecourt on the right side. Gets it out high to Irwin. Back over to Harmon. Feeds it into the lane to Parker. Parker feeds it out over to the left side. Shot from three is good by Bradford. Bailey Bradford with first sixth point of the night on 2 3-pointers, and a timeout being called by Boyceville. 3:06 to go in the first half. Vikings 33, Bulldogs 19. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
And we're back here at Colfax High School waiting for a little bit of confusion on who's coming in and who's not coming in. Hannah Dunn comes in to replace Harnish, and the Bulldogs have it. As they're coming down the floor, Lagerstrom comes through the backcourt and across the timeline where she's picked up right away by Irwin. Feeds it over to the right side to Olsen. Harper Olsen gets it out high to Dunn. Dunn from 3, no. And the rebound gets chased down by Parker, and we have a player down the floor. She hit really hard on her shoulder, and that looks like it's Katie Grambo, or down on her elbow. And they're going to attend to Katie Grambo, and we're going to take a bit of a timeout while they do that. So with 2:45 to go in the first half, it's Vikings 33, Boyceville Bulldogs 19, and you're tuned to Viking Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWARC racing action. Next Saturday we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWARC ice racing action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
Well, hopefully all that was landing on the funny bone there for Katie Grambo, although she didn't think it was too funny at the time. Irwin has it, gets it over to the right side to Harmon, cross-court pass to Bradford for the Vikings. Irwin has it now back between the circles. Over to Harmon on the right. Feeds it down to Knoll at the side of the lane, puts it up no good. Rebound taken down by Boyceville. Montgomery on the rebound. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. They feed it over to the right side to Montgomery. And we have a 5-second violation being called on Montgomery, a close guarding call. And that's a turnover for the Vikings. Parker with a really good job of close defense. Beth comes in for Irwin. Bradford and Harmon come out of the game for the Vikings. And down the floor comes Best. She's got it between the circles, feeds it over to the right side to Bertram Schofield, back out to Best. Over to the right side now to Shipman. Back to Best out high to the left side to Bertram Schofield, back out to Best. Puts up the 3 off the iron, no good. Rebound being tapped around. Put back goes up by Parker. She got fouled on the way up. It didn't go in, but she's going to the line for 2. That falls on Montgomery. It's her first personal sixth team foul on Boyceville. So after these, the Vikings will be in the bonus for the next minute 49. First shot is up and good. Riley Parker with her first point of the night. Second shot on the way off the front of the iron, but it rolls in. It's kind of a backward shooter's roll that time. 35-19, Vikings on top. Down the floor comes Leiderstrom. Down to the left side. Gets it over to Dunn. High, wide, and left. Pulls it over to the elbow. Pulls up there. Shot is no good. Rebound thrown back in and picked up by the Vikings. Best brings it down across the floor. Down to the left corner. Shot goes up. 3-pointer on the way by Shipman, and it's good. 38-19, Vikings on top. Minute 20 to go in the half. Down the floor comes Boyceville. This is done with it over on the right side. Gets it out high to Montgomery. Montgomery takes it over to the left. Tries to feed it over, got tapped away. Montgomery picked up the loose change. Puts the shot up, it goes in, and she got fouled on the way. And I'm going to wait and see who that foul is on. Parker with the foul for the Vikings. 30-21, and Montgomery goes to the line for the and 1. Her shot's on the way, in and out, no good. From Schofield with the rebound for the Vikings. Quickly down the floor she comes. Gets it over to Best between the circles. Best takes it over to the right. Gets it to Barstead. Ball gets knocked loose, but back out to Barstead, then to Best. Back over to Barstead on the right. Gets it into the lane to Paulus. Then back over to Shipman, and she put the shot up and in with the 2-pointer. 40-21, Vikings on top. After a slow start, the Vikings have steadily opened up an 18-point lead. Down the floor is Hainstead. Gets it out high to Dunn. Dunn to Montgomery at the free throw line. Then out to Kirsten. Hainstead. She takes it down the right side. Stops. Back out to Dunn. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound. Gets chased down by Boyceville, and there's the buzzer to end the first half. So we've completed one half of play. Vikings 40, Boyceville Bulldogs 21. We have Viking halftime coming, and then we'll have a whole lot more basketball action for you right after that. But right now, Viking halftime.
Time now for Viking halftime with this week's edition of Viking Profile and the Colfax High School Report. That's all coming up following this brief timeout.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're going to get to know Bailey Bradford. And Bailey, what year are you at Colfax?
I am 2021.
Okay, so you're a senior this year. And we'll be chatting more with Bailey right after this message.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
We're talking with Bailey Bradford on Viking Profile. And Bailey, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities at school?
Yes, I have volleyball and softball as well.
Okay, now when did you start playing basketball and what kind of experience have you had?
I started about in 3rd grade and I've been playing with these girls for quite a while and it's been a good experience. Basketball.
So what's the most important thing that you've learned playing basketball?
That is a team sport. You need to be determined.
Okay. So now when you're not playing basketball or at school, what are some other things that you're interested in that keep you occupied?
Hunting.
Okay, this past hunting season, were you successful?
No, anything.
Well, there's a very large club, let me tell you. Okay, just a few rapid fire questions for you. Just say the first thing that comes into your head. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
And any particular flavor?
I like Oreo ice cream.
Oh, fun. Now, your favorite color and why?
And I don't really know why. I just really like the color blue. I always have.
Okay. And so if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
A super. I guess maybe to fly because I guess I don't know.
Well, you can avoid the traffic that way.
Right.
All right. Do you have a favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Wisconsin.
Well, that's collegiate, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Okay. So we're talking with Bailey Bradford on Viking Profile. And Bailey, what are your plans for after high school?
to do radiography and take CT scans.
Okay, talk about radiography just a little bit. What's involved in that? Because I'll bet we have a lot of viewers that have no idea what that term means.
Radiography is where you take your bones. Like if you had a fracture or something, I'd be there, take a scan and give it to the doctor.
Like inside photography. Yeah, or something like that. All right, how about a shout out to your family?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Now, when people are watching Viking games, what number do you wear and what position do you play?
I'm 14 and I'm usually a 3.
Okay. And we want to thank Bailey Bradford for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next is more of Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now for the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School.
At Colfax High School last week, the girls Vikings basketball team went 2-0 and remained in a tie for first place in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. The Vikings defeated the Spring Valley Cardinals 75-24 last Tuesday and then knocked off the Elk Mound Mounders 47-35 on Friday. Those wins leave the Vikings with a 6-3 overall record and 6-1 win-loss record in the Dunn St. Croix Conference. The Viking boys had to remain idle due to COVID-19. They were scheduled to play at Elk Mound and also travel to Boyceville last week. Those games will be made up with the Vikings traveling to Boyceville now on January 25th and traveling to Elk Mound on Saturday, January 30th. We will carry that game at Boyceville on the 25th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up this week, the Viking girls will take on the Boyceville Bulldogs on Monday and travel to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves on Thursday. We'll carry both of those games on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV with Viking pregame at 6:55 and live play-by-play starting at 7:10. Then on Saturday, the Vikings will travel to Ellsworth to take on the Ellsworth Panthers. Unfortunately, we will not be able to carry that game as we will be covering a previously scheduled ice racing event from Bloomer. The Viking boys are scheduled to host the Spring Valley Cardinals on Tuesday and the Elk Mound Mounders on Friday. We will also carry that Elk Mound game on Friday on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV with Viking pregame at 6:55. Live play-by-play starts at 7:10. Also this week, the middle school girls basketball team will travel to Boyceville on Tuesday, and they will host Elk Mound on Thursday. Don't forget, the Science Olympiad will be held on Saturday, January 23rd at UW River Falls. And that's what's happening at Colfax High School for January 17th through the 23rd.
You've been tuned to the Colfax High School report with an update about what's happening at Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is more Viking halftime and then second half action.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petschow, and Vikings on top by a score of 40-21. And Dan, how did we get that way?
Yeah, here's the scores right now for Boyceville Bulldogs. Their leading scorer is number 15, Rachel Montgomery. She has 6. We got Maya Lagerstrom with 5. We got Katie Grambo with 4. We have Hannah Dunn with 4. And Faith Harner, she has 2. For the Colfax Vikings, their leading scorer right now is number 42, McKenna Shipman. She has 7 points, followed by Bailey Bradford, Marissa Harmon, Emily Bertram Schofield. They all have 6. We have Maddie Barstead with 4. We have Addison Olsen with 3. We have Abby Irwin with 4. We have Jasmine Paulus with 2. And Riley Parker with 2.
Okay, and that gets us to 40-21 with the Vikings on top. This halftime score in the Duck St. Croix Conference, at the half, it's Elk Mound leading Durand by a score of 13-10. I guess we'd call that a defensive struggle.
Yeah, right. Tough game down over there at Elk Mound.
And so the Vikings are going to have the ball to start the second half. And that horn tells us that, yeah, it's time to get things started. Harmon to inbound it. He gets it over to Olsen, who brings it across the timeline, moving right to left. Over to Harmon on the right side. She puts up the shot. No good. Paulus with the rebound, gets it out to Olsen, then back over to Harmon on the right. Bradford now back out to Olsen between the circles. Back over to Bradford. Bradford feeds it to Harmon. To Barstead, to Olsen, to Harmon, to Barstead underneath. She puts it up, it rattles around and out. Maddie Barstead having a hard time getting that ball to go through the hole tonight. And we've got a whistle and a travel being called on the Boyceville Bulldogs. So the Vikings will have it under their own basket. Harmon looking for somewhere to go with it. Feeds it into Barstead in the lane. Puts up the shot. No good. Rebound by Lagerstrom. And she brings it down the floor for the Bulldogs. Takes it over to the right side. Now back over to the free throw line. Feeds it over to Dunn. Dunn down the left baseline. Puts it up. No good. Barstead high for that rebound. She quickly comes down the floor. Down the left side to Harmon. Harmon with the 3, and she hit it. Marissa Harmon with the 3-pointer. 9 points for Harmon. And Grambo with it. She's got a sleeve on that elbow that she hit now. Shot goes up good. That was by Dunn. Rebound scramble for on the floor. Montgomery picks it up and puts it up and in. 43-23. Vikings up by 20. Olsen with it. Feeds it over to the right side. To Barstead. To Bradford, I should say. They try to get it in the lane to Barstead. And we have a whistle. And a foul underneath. And that foul is going to be on Montgomery. That's her second personal. First team foul on the Bulldogs in the second half. Bradford with a 3-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound chased down by Harmon. Gets it out to Olsen. Takes it between the circles. Back over to Harmon on the right. To Barstead. Back to Olsen. Back to Barstead. In the lane. A jumper. Puts it up. No good. And gets knocked out of bounds. But off of Boyceville, it'll be Viking ball. Harmon to inbound for the Vikings. Feeds it out to Barstead. To Olsen. To Bradford. Back to Olsen on the right side. She drives down to the right baseline. Tries to feed it into the lane, but nobody home, and here comes Boyceville. Done with it. Gets it to Lagerstrom. Lagerstrom settles things down and comes across the timeline. Takes it over to the left side. Now drives into the lane. Puts up a leaping leaner. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Barstead quickly down the floor for the Vikings. Down to the free throw line. Feeds it over. Tries to get it to Bradford, but the ball got tipped, and Boyceville comes away with it. Hannah Dunn on the dribble. Takes it through the center circle. Now over to the left side. To Lagerstrom. Left baseline. Drives down. Tries to feed it into the lane. She got it to Montgomery. Montgomery put it up and in. Rachel Montgomery making her presence known. She has 10 points on the night. Olsen down the floor for the Vikings. Gets it over to Harmon. Back out to Olsen. Over to Bradford. On the right to Olsen. Back to Bradford. Down to Barstead. Tries to get into Paulus. Ball got tipped. And Boyceville comes away with it. floor comes Dunn. She's on the left side. Gets it down to the baseline. Turns around. Feeds it out to Montgomery. Back out to Dunn. Outside the arc. Out high to Gramble. Gramble drives down the lane. Puts it up no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Olsen with it. Taking it all the way down the floor. We're going to get a foul on the way down the lane. And that's going to be on Hannah Dunn. 5 in, 5 out for the Vikings. That's Dunn's second personal. Second team foul on Boyceville for the second half. Inbound pass to Shipman. And as she tries to go up immediately, and Grambo's going to get called for the foul. I checked that was Lagerstrom on the foul. First shot by Shipman is good. Harnish into the lineup for Boyceville, replacing Gramble. Shipman's second shot is on the way, and it's good. Nothing but net that time. (44-25), or check that, 45-25, Vikings on top. Harper Olsen feeds it over to the left side, Montgomery, back out high to Dunn. Over to Olsen on the right side. Back out to Lagerstrom at the top of the key. And she gets it over to Dunn on the left. To Montgomery at the top of the key. To Lagerstrom, drives down the baseline, puts it up, no good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. She's ahead of almost everybody. She takes it down the floor, stops, puts it up, and got fouled as she went up. Kind of an off-balance shot, but she was able to draw the foul. And so McKenna Shipman goes to the line. And her first shot is up and hits the front of the iron, no good. Shipman's second shot is up off the front of the iron, no good. Harnish gets the rebound, but immediately gets tied up by Bertram Schofield. And the possession arrow is in favor of the Boyceville Bulldogs. So it's done with it. To inbound it to Lagerstrom. And Lagerstrom through the center circle. Feeds it over to the left side to Gramble. Back out to Dunn, over to Lagerstrom on the right. To Montgomery at the top of the key. To Dunn, drives down the right side of the lane, puts it up no good. Rebound taken down by the Vikings. Now she dishes it back to Best. Best feeds it over to Parker with the three-pointer on the way, no good. Rebound taken down by Irwin. Irwin looking for score to go, feeds it into the lane to Best. Best tries to go up, and she got fouled. I'll tell you what, Dan, one of the old adages in basketball is if you get in trouble, just go to the hole with it. You're liable to draw a foul.
Yeah, there's enough traffic down there that somebody will pick up a foul.
So Jasmine Best at the line. First shot is good. First point of the night for Best. Second shot away, it's also good. 47-25, Vikings up by 22. Into the lineup for Boyceville is Hampstead replacing Harnish. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. Lagerstrom takes it across the timeline. She got picked up by Best there. Feeds it out high to Gramble, puts up a three, and she hit it. Katie Gramble with the three. She's got 7 points on the night. Down the floor is Best. She stops between the circles, keeps her dribble going, though. Feeds it over to the left side to Shipman. Now back out high to Bertram Schofield. Over to the right side to Best with a three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound tapped around, chased down. Shipman with it, finally chases it down. She comes back with it quickly over to Bertram Schofield. Couldn't find the handle, and they're going to say she traveled. And inbounding it was Hainstead. She got it over to Lagerstrom, who brings it across the timeline. Over to the right side. Now she takes it to the free throw line. Feeds it over to Grambo in the left corner. Tries to drive in towards the lane. Ball gets knocked loose. Out of bounds off the Vikings. And so Boyceville will have it. Into the lineup for the Vikings, Tyler Noel. Replacing Parker. Inbound pass to Grambo. She puts the shot up. And we're going to get a foul. And that's going to be on Tyler Noel, her second personal. First team foul on the Vikings this half. So Grambo at the line for 2. Her first shot is on the way. It's good. And second shot. It's on the way, rolls around, comes off. Shipman with it on the rebound for the Vikings. And they get it over to Best, who brings it down the floor. Cross court pass over to the left side to Bertram Schofield. Back over to Best on the right. Back to Bertram Schofield on the left. She takes it to the free throw line. Back over to Best on the right. Shipman down to the baseline to Irwin. Gets it out high to Bertram Schofield. Drives into the left. Puts it up off the back of the air. No good. Rebound taken down by Grambo. And down the floor she comes. Katie Grambo on the dribble at the free throw line. Feeds it out to Dunn. Dunn drives down to the baseline, puts it up, and draws the foul. So Katie Dunn, Hannah Dunn, check that, is going to the line for 2. 47-29, Vikings on top, 11:42 to go. Dunn's shot is on its way, it's good. It's the Viking lead to 17. 5 points for Hannah Dunn. And her second shot is good. And down the floor come the Vikings. They feed it over to the right side. Best has it out high, wide, and right to Shipman from 3. She hit it! McKenna Shipman with a nothing but net 3. 50-31, Vikings on top. Harper Olsen gets it over to Grambo, and there's a collision of feet. Ball goes out of bounds. And they're going to call the Vikings with a foul on that one. Shipman with the foul. It's her second personal. Third team foul on the Vikings. Grambo inbounds it to Hainstead, who just laid it up and in. 50-33, Vikings on top. Best with it. Passes it over to the left side to Bertram Schofield. Then down to Irwin. Back out to Bertram Schofield to Best on the right. Cross-court pass to Irwin. Drives the left baseline, lays it up and in. Abby Irwin with the nice lay-in underneath. 51-33, Vikings on top. Down the floor comes Harper Olsen. Gets it over to Grambo. Ball got loose there for a second. Grambo with it. Feeds it over to Hainstead. Back out to Grambo. Grambo from 3. She hit it. 51-36, and we have a timeout being called by the Boyceville Bulldogs. So with a timeout on the floor, it's Vikings 51, Boyceville 36. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow.
Yeah, good game going right now.
I thought maybe you had an update on that. Grand Elk Mountain game.
I'll check it out.
And we've got the Vikings with the ball. Bertram Schofield with it at the top of the key. Gets it over to Irwin on the left side. Back out to Bertram Schofield. Drives down the lane. Gets it back out to Irwin with a three-pointer. Nothing but net again. Abby Irwin with 9 points on the night. And down the floor come the Bulldogs. This is Hannah Olson. Gets it over to Gramble. Feeds it over to Hainstead. Hainstead drives towards the lane. Puts it up. It's no good. And the ball goes out of bounds to the Vikings.
Update on the Elk Mound Durand game. It's 23-19 Elk Mound with 9:01 left in the game.
Okay, that's a big one for the Vikings. I could leave the Vikings all alone in first place. If this one holds on, and that one does. Shipman with a three-pointer, and she put it in. Vikings starting to open this one up a little bit. 22-point lead. Shipman has 15 on the night. Lagerstrom tries to feed it over to Montgomery. Ball gets loose, and we're going to get a foul on Irwin. They're saying it was either going to be a foul or a travel. And we have 5 in and 5 out for the Vikings. Starting lineup back in for the Vikings. 58-36, 9:24 to go. Inbound pass comes out high to Dunn. Hannah Dunn feeding it over to Harper Olson. Feeds it down into the lane to Montgomery. Montgomery puts the shot up, no good, gets her own rebound. Tries to go back up with it, and we're going to get a foul, I think, on the floor. And the foul is going to be on Paulus. It's her first personal 15 foul on the Vikings. Inbound pass, and we're going to get another foul down on the floor as Montgomery tried to go up with it. And this is going to be a foul on Barstead. So with the foul on Maddie Barstead, this will be her first. Yeah, and the 16th foul on the Vikings. Inbound pass to Montgomery. Turns around in the lane, throws the shot up. It's no good. And Harmon comes away with it. Gets it over to Olsen for the Vikings. She brings it across the timeline. Olsen over to Paulus. To Barstead, back out to Paulus. Over to Olsen, high, wide, and right. Down to Harmon in the right corner. Back out to Olsen. Over to Paulus. Back to Olsen. Feeds to Barstead. Back out to Harmon. Three-pointer on the way. No good. Rebound chased down by Paulus. Gets it out to Barstead. Feeds it down into the corner to Bradford. Over to Olsen. Olsen drives towards the lane. Kicks it out to Harmon. Harmon into the lane to Barstead. Barstead turnaround shot is good. 6 points for Barstead tonight. 60-36. Vikings on top. 8:19 to go. Lagerstrom with it across the timeline. Feeds it over to Gramble. Gramble with a leaping leaner. It's no good. Rebound taken down by Barstead. Barstead feeds it down to Harmon. Just out of her reach. It goes out of bounds. It'll be Boyceville ball. Harnish coming in. Hainstead coming in. As well as Kirsten coming in for the Bulldogs. Lagerstrom with it. Bringing it down through the backcourt. She's going to get picked up by Olsen. Gets it to the free throw line. Lost the handle on it, but was able to dish it off to Hainstead. They get it out to Harper Olsen. Drives towards the lane, tries to feed it down to Kirsten, and it goes out of bounds, and the Vikings will have it. The official had to chase it all the way out into the lobby. Good thing the concession stand isn't running. You might have stopped and got a bag of popcorn on the way.
Geez, that and hot dogs.
Hot dogs, yes. And the Vikings have it. Olsen brings it through the backcourt. Across the timeline. Gets it over to the right side to Harmon. Tries to feed it to the lane. Paulus didn't know the ball was coming and kind of ran out from under where the ball landed. And Boyceville has it. Harper Olsen with it. Gets it over to Kirsten, to Hainstead. And they fed it over to Harper Olsen, who lost the handle on it as it went out of bounds, but it was tipped out by the Vikings. Ball goes into Hainstead tries to inbound it, and it gets knocked out of bounds right away by the Vikings, so Boyceville will get it again. Lagerstrom to inbound. As they get it in, we have a wrestling match down there. Olsen and Harnish forces the jump ball and possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. And Olsen to bring it down the floor. Across the timeline, feeds it over to the right side to Harmon. Back over to Olsen. Now over to the left side to Bradford. To Barstead, who put up the three and hit it. Maddie Barstead with another three. She's got 9 now. And down the floor comes Boyceville. Lagerstrom feeds it over to Hainstead. To Harnish, out high. She gets it over to the left side to Kirsten. Kirsten takes it out between the circles. Over to Harper Olsen on the left. To Hainstead, to Lagerstrom on the right. Lagerstrom takes it down toward the baseline. Now she's in the corner. Picked up there by Olsen. Feeds it down underneath, and we're going to get a travel being called on Hainstead. She went up and came back down with it because she was closely guarded.
Yeah, good job by number 22, Maddie Barstead, to hold her ground there and create the turnover.
Barstead bounds it to Olsen. Brings it down the floor. Over to the right side to Harmon. Back over to the left to Olsen. Takes it to the free throw line. Gets it back out to Harmon. Over to Barstead. Out high to Olsen. Over to Bradford on the left. To Harmon on the left. Getting it back out high to Paulus, who tries to feed it into the lane, but got taken away by Boyceville, but then Paulus got it back in the backcourt and gets it to Olsen, who quickly brings it into the forecourt, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Boyceville. And the foul is on Haley Hainstead. That's her first personal, 6th team foul. So, Hannestead. Okay. I stand corrected. Corrected. Olsen with it for the Vikings. Brings it into the forecourt. To Irwin. To Noel. Out to the free throw line to Harmon, to Olsen. Back out to Noel, takes it to the free throw line, gets it out to Parker. Over to Harmon on the left side. To Irwin between the circles. Back over to Noel on the left. Noel gets it over to Parker between the circles, over to Irwin, just inside the arc, and she put it up and in from the elbow. 65-36, the Vikings on top. 5:10 to go. The Bulldogs have it, and Rambo dribbles it off her foot and over the timeline, and they're going to get called for an over and back, and the Vikings have the ball. Parker to inbound it to Olsen. Olsen brings it across the timeline. Takes it over to the right side. Dishes it off to Noel. Gets it over to Parker between the circles. Feeds it over to Olsen on the left. Olsen turns around, drives towards the lane. Gets cut off. Sends it out to Harmon. Harmon to Noel, over to Parker. Parker to Irwin. Left side jumper's no good. Rebound taken down by Boyceville. Down the floor come the Bulldogs. Grambo with it. Dishes it off to Dunn. Drives down into the lane, puts it up. And we're going to get a foul called. Foul is on Noel. That's her third personal. Dunn's first shot is on the way. It's no good. That's, by the way, the 7th team foul on the Vikings. And Dunn with her second shot. It's on the way. It's good. 65-37. Vikings up by 28. Olsen across the timeline. Takes it down the right side. Feeds it into the lane to Knoll. Gets it out high to Harmon. Harmon over to the left side to Olsen. Now out to Irwin. Irwin over to the right to Parker. To Olsen, drives the lane, puts it up. It's no good, but she got fouled on the way in. She's going to the line for 2. And that's going to be a foul on Dunn. That's her third personal, 7th team foul on Boyceville. Olsen's first shot off the bat, hard off the back of the iron, no good. Second shot is up and in. 4th point for Olsen for the night. And down the floor comes Harper Olsen for the Boyceville Bulldogs. 66-37. Feeds it over to Gramble. We're going to get a foul. No, we're not going to get a foul. Looks like a travel.
Yeah, we got a travel.
I thought for sure that might have been a foul on Knoll, but no, they're saying it was a travel. Harper Olsen out of the lineup for Boyceville. Addie Olsen for the Vikings brings it across the timeline. Over to Irwin on the right side. Feeds it over to the left side to Harmon. Down into the corner to Irwin. Irwin drives the left baseline. Spins. Gets it out to Knoll. Out to Addison Olsen. Puts up the 3. She hit it. Addison Olsen with a 3-pointer. 7 points for Olsen on the night. Down the floor comes Lagerstrom. She feeds it over to the right side to Hainestead. Gets it over to Dunn. Then out to Montgomery. Feeds it out to Hainestead. And the shot is no good. Rebound. Tied up by Hainestead and Harmon. Couple of 20s there. We have 20-20 vision on that one. And possession arrow is in favor of the Boyceville Bulldogs. 5 in, 5 out for the Vikings. They inbound it to Harper Olsen, and they get it over to Grambo. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. And they get it to Ainsley Olsen. Brings it down the floor. Feeds it over to Goodell. Goodell gets it down. They get it down underneath to Hajdukovic, who puts it up and in. Jeanette Hajdukovic with her first 2 of the night. 71-37. Vikings on top. 2:36 to go. Boyceville coming down. That's Lagerstrom. Gets it out to Grambo, who puts up the 3 and hit it. Katie Grambo with 14 points on the night. And Jenna Goodell took a little bit of an extra step. Dragged that pivot foot a little bit, I think. And so the ball goes back over to the Bulldogs. Lagerstrom with it. Feeds it over to Goodell. Puts the shot up. No good. Rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. And we have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Vikings. Ainsley Olsen inbound for the Vikings to Goodell. Goodell brings it down the floor. Through the center circle. Over to the right side. To Reen. Hajdukovic. Shipman on the left. Drives into the lane. Lays it up and puts it in. McKenna Shipman. 17 points for her tonight. Big night for McKenna. Instead with it for Boyceville. To the free throw line. Feeds it off to Grambo, and then they get it over to the corner. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound taken down, and they're going to call Ainsley Olsen with the travel. And she went flying on her keister with the ball.
Yeah, she actually got bumped by her own teammate, number 34, which created the travel.
And, of course, she slid about 6 feet once she hit the floor, too, and that definitely is a travel. All right, Boyceville gets it into Gramble. She puts the shot up. It's no good. And the putback by Hainestead is no good, but she got fouled. And that foul is on Aaliyah Reen. It's her first personal. 8th team foul on the Vikings. Hainestead's shot is up, no good. Minute 28 to go. 73-40, Vikings on top. Second shot on the way, it's good. 73-41. As the Vikings have it in the forecourt, Olsen with it over to the left side to Goodell. To Reen, feeds it down underneath, tries to get it to Olsen, and it was a little bit out of her reach, and the ball goes over to Boyceville. And here comes Boyceville down the floor with it. Hainestead with it. Feeds it over to the right side to Harper Olsen. They get it back out high. That was to Resimer. Resimer has it on the right side. They get it back out high now to Harper Olsen. Pass goes into the lane, and it gets tied up in there. We have a jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Boyceville Bulldogs. And instead to inbound it, and the ball gets taken out of there by Shipman. Shipman brings it down the floor. Shipman takes it all the way to the hole. She got fouled on the way up. And McKenna Shipman to go to the line for two. That foul, by the way, is on Cambry Resimer. It's her first personal. First shot is off the iron, no good. Second shot on. Hey, off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Olsen, gets tied up underneath, but she keeps control, tries to dish it out, doesn't quite do it, and then ties up the Boyceville girl, and I'm trying to see who that was.
Number 35, Sarah Stoverin.
And we have a timeout being called by the Bulldogs with 32 seconds left. And with 32 seconds left, you're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Broadcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Deductible health plan. Opening a health savings account at Dairy State Bank will allow you to save tax-free dollars to pay for a long list of health-related services allowed by the IRS. Dairy State Bank HSAs are serviced locally and work like a regular checking account. You can use a debit card or check to pay for expenses and access your account through online or mobile banking. Visit DairyStateBank.com to learn more about HSAs and online or mobile banking. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
And we're back here for the final 32 seconds of this one. Vikings on top. Pass goes into Hajdukovic, out to Olsen. She kicks it out high to Shipman, and the Vikings look like they just want to chew up the clock now. 26 seconds to go. Hajdukovic has it between the circles. Over to Reen, to Goodell, to Olsen, to Shipman, to Reen, to Hajdukovic, to Ainsley Olsen, to Goodell, to Shipman, About 3 seconds left. And there's the horn. Final score in this one, Viking 73, Boyceville 41. And they're going to have a little bit of a ceremony to honor the seniors here following this first half. And I'll tell you what, I think we're going to keep it right here. If Jeff is going to stay over on the senior awards, I'm pretty sure Jeff, our intrepid cameraman. And just as if it were magic, there he is heading over toward the Viking bench and getting ready to pick up the seniors as they're going to do some recognition of the seniors on senior night here at Colfax High School. And we're just about ready for that to happen. Still waiting for and here he comes. The Colfax High School athletic director will be making the presentations, if I'm not mistaken, and he's walking out onto the floor and heading over to the scorer's table, and we're getting ready to do this now. And there are 7 seniors on the Viking roster. And now we're just about set. Now Mike Odell wears many hats here. Now he's ready. And they get a team picture. That'll be in the Colfax Messenger maybe, or the 10 County News, something like that. And but now the teammates bring out little awards for the players, for the 7 seniors. They've got, it's appropriate, Dan, they've got a basketball that's sitting in a bucket. You want to put the ball in the bucket, right?
Well, that's the name of the game, I think.
I think so. That's how it's supposed to go. So, the final score in this one, Colfax Vikings 73, Boyceville Bulldogs 41, and we'll be back with Viking postgame right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Can't high-five. All right. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Thank you for joining us for Colfax Viking Girls Basketball. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game, where we'll take a look back at today's Viking game.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Time now for Viking postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. And now, Viking postgame.
And Rick Wilson back here along with Dan Petchow for Viking postgame. Vikings come out victorious tonight over the Boyceville Bulldogs by a score of 73-41. And I don't know, you about ready there, Dan, to tell us how we got there?
You bet. I got it. Here's the scores for Boyceville Bulldogs tonight. Their leading scorer was number 23, Katie Grambo. She had 14 points, followed by number 15, Rachel Montgomery. She had 10. We had Hannah Dunn with 7. We had Maya Lagerstrom with 5. We had Haley Hannestead with 3. And Faith Harnish with 2 for the Colfax Vikings. Their leading scorer tonight was number 42, McKenna Shipman. She had 17 points, followed by Abby Irwin with 11. We had Bailey Bradford and Marissa Harmon with 9. We had Eddie Olson with 7. We had Emily Bertram Schofield with 6. We had Abby Irwin, Jasmine Best, Jasmine Paulus, Riley Parker, and Jeanette Hajdukovic with 2. So that makes 73-41 is your final.
Okay, and actually it was also, the Vikings are now down to just one player on the injured list, and that's Jillian Bovey, who is still working on getting some, I can't remember if it was tendons or ligaments in the ankle area to heal up, and hopefully it won't be too long before she's going to be ready to go. Ainsley Olson, who got hurt last week, was back in tonight, and it was good to see her moving around. She played some in the JV game and played during that last 5 minutes of the varsity game and seemed to be moving on her ankle real well. So 73-41. Vikings come out victorious on this one, and we'll see if we have Coach Serrar in just a few minutes. We'll take a brief time out. You're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
NLWN-TV is excited to present NWA-RC Racing action. Next Saturday we'll present live ice racing from Bloomer, Wisconsin. Join us at 11:45 a.m. from Como Lake in Bloomer. That's live NWA-RC Ice Racing action on Saturday, January 23rd at 11:45 on NLWN-TV.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows? Maybe life is looking for us, too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
And we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson, Dan Petschow, and joining us right now is Viking head coach Courtney Serrar. And Coach, 73-41, a nice win.
Yeah, it was a really great win for the girls. Senior night's always a special night. Can be a little jittery, kind of getting those nerves out, I think, at first. But otherwise, I thought the girls did a really great job.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was kind of a ragged first 5 minutes or so. And then the girls kind of seemed to get into their rhythm and started playing Colfax basketball.
Yeah, we kind of just, we missed, had 4 shots on the first possession. All of them were right there. And I think, from there we just seemed a little out of it. But then, like you said, after the first 5 minutes, we got right back into it and, played our style of basketball.
And I was really glad to see, it's part of the old adage in basketball, if you've got a shooter that's not hitting, keep that person shooting, because Patty Barstead, she couldn't buy a shot in the first half, and then all of a sudden in the second half, she started lighting the place up as well.
Yeah, that goes for all of our girls. I think each one of them missed their first shot and then just stuck with it, and we made quite a few threes, I know. But like I said, it's just one thing I preach with them is just next one's in, so keep shooting.
McKenna Shipman, holy cow, 17 points. That's a nice night for a freshman.
Yeah, she was one of the ones who was hot from the start, so we managed to get her some good inside-out shots, and she knocked them down, and I was proud of her for how aggressive she was and just gave us a spark that we kind of needed.
And I don't know if you heard it or not, but in other Dunn St. Croix action, Elktown knocked off Durand by a score of 36-29. Now, that's a big game for you guys.
Yeah, we were, hoping that was the case, and now, we're excited to be alone top of the Dunn St. Croix. But, we just got to keep winning. We just got to keep taking one day at a time.
Yeah, nobody's put anything in the record book yet, have they?
Right, no, exactly. So like I said to the girls, it doesn't mean anything until it's all over. So we have to just make sure we continue playing hard and do all the things that we need to do all the way through.
And so now Thursday you make the trip over to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. And then you've got another one coming up on Saturday. And then on Monday, and then, holy cow, your time is just it's going to be every other day, it seems like.
Yeah, it's a big stretch for us right now. We have Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, actually. So, we just got to, just battle through it. Sometimes those are fun, and sometimes, you can be a little groggy, but, I'm confident that these girls and just the fact that, we have quite a deep bench to get us through, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, you will, and it's going to be an exciting finish coming down the stretch. I mean, we are in that time of the season. It's the stretch run, time to get everything tuned up for the playoffs. And now, give us a little bit of a rundown. Are the playoffs working pretty much the same way they have every year?
No, actually, they've just made some big changes. So they went based on solely on your geographic location this year. And they tried to narrow it down to 5 teams, and then that would be your regional. They want to keep those first initial couple games close by. So I know it's us and Fall Creek and Regis are in the same bracket, and then there's 2 other teams in there too, and I just glanced at it briefly. I can't recognize off the top of my head, but
there's some pretty quality ball there, though, in that bracket.
Yep.
When you look at the Fall Creek Crickets, they're nothing to sneeze about.
No, absolutely not. So, but hey, we want to win the conference title first, so I haven't really focused much on the regional matchups. Just going to get through the conference.
And that's first. Exactly one game at a time is the way they say it. Well, 73-41. Congratulations, Coach Serrar. And it's on to Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. And we'll be back with more Viking Postgame right after this timeout. You're tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Hey. Okay. Mm-hmm.
If you love me enough to tolerate my perfect little pets and all their glorious dander, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like, they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Okay, we're back here at Colfax High School. Rick Olson along with Dan Petchow. And Dan, 73-41. Vikings come out on top.
Yeah, Colfax started out a little slow, but they finally got into rhythm and had some good ball movement. And they went deep into the bench again. 11 girls with points, 13 three-pointers, and they pulled away.
And that's how you get 73 for a high school girl game. That's a pretty high-scoring game. And the end result is they are all alone on top of the Dunn St. Croix Conference with the Durand loss to Elk Mound tonight. And so it's always good to be the front runner. It's harder to catch a team than it is to stay ahead of the other teams. And so that's now that everything's in their own hands, and it's up to them how they finish, and it'd be really nice to see them come away with a conference title, and that's very much within their grasp.
Yeah, and with like you were saying earlier about they only have one girl that's kind of injured right now, and so everybody's staying healthy, and that'll be important coming up in the playoffs.
Well, speaking of coming up, our next girls' game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV is scheduled for Thursday, when we're going to have that game where the Vikings travel over to Elmwood to take on the Elmwood Plum City Wolves. Viking pregame will start at 6:55, and live play-by-play will begin at 7 o'clock. Also, the Viking boys are going to host the Spring Valley Cardinals tomorrow right here, but we won't have that game, but we will be carrying the game when the Vikings host the Elk Mound Mounders on Friday. And that will have Viking pregame at 6:55, and live play-by-play will be at 7:10. Don't forget, our next ice racing event will be this Saturday on Lake Como in Bloomer. You can watch the Bloomer races on NLWN-TV live Saturday, January 23rd. Coverage starts at 11:45. And also don't forget that starting in March, we're going to be bringing you Classic Wastota racing action, where we bring back 7 of the weekend races from the Eagle Valley Speedway with a few added features. And this is going to help you get ready for the 2021 racing season. So Wastota racing action begins on March 17th on NLWN-TV. Final score again tonight, Vikings 73, the Boyceville Bulldogs 41 for Dan Petchow. This is Rick Olson. Have a great evening. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
And here we are back here again. I thought I was getting ready to pack tonight, but Viking Athletic Director Mike Hodel just informed me the game on Thursday with the Elmwood Plum City Wolves is actually starting early because there will not be a JV that night. And so our coverage will be at 5:40 with the Viking pregame, and then live play action will be at 5:55. And we will have that game for you here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Please note that time change again. Pregame begins at 5:40 and live play-by-play starts at 5:55. Okay, so now you've been tuned to Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.